So we're going to make use of our universal table here on the shaper. I'm going to spin this vise around. We've just loosened it up. And I'm going to bring it around here to 0. Just to help kind of clear up this side, because this is going to be our work surface right there. This is where our manifold and our fixture plate is going to bolt to. And this thing will rotate. We're going to loosen up these bolts right here. And then we are going to spin this thing on around. Get this tightened up. I got to remove that bracket, get it out of our way, and then we'll start rotating it around. Need to do a little cleaning on it too. It's been a little while since I've done any kind of cleaning on the face of that. We're just getting this tight. Got a lot of dust down here. I'm going to do a little cleanup before we got everything cleaned off, including back behind the vise where all the chips fall. So when we rotate it, we won't have chips in there rubbing. So you can see the graduated dial here, and this table will rotate around. Right now we're on 0. So we're going to actually bring this up to 0 to do our setup, and then once we're ready, we're going to be moving off of this 0 approximately. The way that I measured it, I think it's around 47.5 degrees. So we're going to be somewhere around that on both sides of this. So we'll go ahead and bust these loose. This is the first time that I've loosened these since I originally set the machine up, cleaned it, you know, got everything going. First time. And from what I remember, once you get this thing moving, it actually rotates very easy. All right, so let me set the wrench over there, and then you got a worm shaft right here that you'll use to move it. So we're gonna go ahead and bust it loose. There we go. Okay, ran into a problem. I forgot that the vise will not clear the back. Man. All right, I'm gonna have to, I've got to loosen the vise up and actually bring it back. If I bring this vise to the edge of the table, it'll actually clear the back side around there. So I forgot about that. So let me do that first, and then we'll finish rotating it around. About like that there. Yep, that'll clear. Some of this stuff you just can't remember because you don't do it very often. That way that vise acts like a counterweight. Really makes it pretty simple to go across there. And we are clearing now. I wish they just would have designed this so that that vise would have cleared with it in the position. You got a pin on the vise here. That pin pushes in a hole that you see right there, and this hole in that pin allows that vise to just stay fixed. Like it won't get pushed off there because that pin is engaged in that hole. Just about there. Doesn't have to be on 0. I'm just bringing it up so that it's kind of flat. We'll start from 0, right about there. All right, and then we'll start getting her set up now. So we've got the table completely cleaned off with our degreaser. There is actually a big burr right here on this table that it looks like something must have hit it, you know, because it's over here on the side. So somewhere along the line, something has hit this and burred that up. I'm going to get in there. I'm actually going to bring you in closer because I just saw that. But what I was going to get at was, this is where you want to use your precision ground stones on these machined flat surfaces, where all you're doing is just removing anything like this, just a burr. And I've got a couple. There's another one right there. I can feel it as that stone goes across it. It's picking it up. Start with the coarse side and make sure that everything's knocked down. And it'll just make the highest spots of the machine face shine. Let me go, I'll get the Sony and bring you on that, and we'll do that one there. Now maybe you can see that. It's really sharp. I can feel it with my fingers. So I'm going to take and I think that might be too much for even the stone to get off right there. But just go right on top of it. You see that shiny? That's where the metal's been deformed and pushed up when it got hit. But that's a great example of why you want to use these. You're not gouging and scratching around the other parts of the machine face right there. I'm just cleaning it off after a few strokes, rubbing it against the other stone. And you see that shiny there. And we'll polish it with the other side. Now, I don't feel it anymore when I rub this back and forth across there, so we should be good to go on that burr now. That's a good example of another one. I remember that one I cleaned up last time that I was messing with this table. Just one little indentation, and you can see how it's shiny all the way around. Just give it a nice little rub with the stone, and it just polishes it off nice and even. All right, I think we're ready to go to the shaper now. Come on, there we go. All right. That's the one that's got to be machined. I've got a few that fit, I thought. Let's see if this one goes in there. No. Well, what the heck? Thought I had them fit. Huh. I guess I might have to do some milling before I can get them in there. All right, that one fits. Maybe this is okay. See, the T-slots on the moving table, it actually fits that one. Wow. All right, well, I'll go take these T-nuts here, and I'll just mill the sides of them there. I'll have to use a carbide because these things are usually really tough, and get them to where they just fit in it. It's not going to take much, 15, 20 thousandths tops. All right, I got our T-nuts there milled, just these three because the other one fit. What I found out is that this slot here is actually tapered slightly. So it had fit. I came over here and checked it because the top of it fit fine, but the bottom of them tapered. So maybe, I'm not sure why that would be tapered that much. I mean, I know that they've been used and pulled on, but anyway. So we got them to where they fit in there now. I just milled 15 thousandths off each side. Took a total of 30 thousandths off. Got one of my washers there that I made, and then our flange nut. Perfect. think we're just going to go ahead and just tighten it down right there where it sits. And we should be ready to start indicating now. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and start getting this thing leveled out. What we're going to do to get us close anyway, I'm going to use this little Starrett number 98. This is a 4-inch model level, and we'll put this on our flange right there and just get it really close. I've actually checked it over here on the way of the machine, so I know this machine is not level, so at least I know where the ways are at in reference to where it's going to be sitting at, and we'll do that here on the part as well. And this will just get us close, and once we get it close, then we'll stick our indicator up there and we'll indicate across this flange face to make sure that we're nice and even there. And it shouldn't take much to clean it up. I'm gonna guess no more than 10 thousandths, but we're gonna just we'll take a couple 5-thou cuts across it to until it cleans up there. I may have to raise this knee up for the vise to clear the bottom of the machine base. Yeah, it's getting ready to hit, so I'm gonna have to raise this up some. I think that's gonna be enough. That's going to be about the same level here as it is over on the ways. So we're going to start doing our indicating here now. All right, we got the Noga fixed arm set up over here, and we'll sweep across this flange face to get it leveled in. And I'll just, since it's such a short distance, I'm going to use the hand crank and just manually crank it back and forth. So we're off 3 thousandths right there. I actually think I've already gone too far, haven't I? Oh no, we got to keep going. So 2. Just make little movements at a time on the worm until we get it as flat as we can across there. So we're down to 1/1000th there. Man, that's looking pretty good right there. If it's within tenths. Whenever you move the screw the other direction, I can see a few tenths wiggle in that indicator. You know, things up here moving around. It's on 0. I think we nailed it right there. I'm reading maybe 0.2 variation there. Go ahead and snug these up some before we get too carried away with everything, and make sure that it's not going to move on us. I think we stayed right where we wanted it. I'm seeing tense movements in there, but I don't think that tense is going to really bother us on this right here. Now we got everything pretty well where we're going to keep it. We're going to go ahead and put our knee support back on. Set to line it up like right there. See, we're low on this end, so this end's going to have to come around, and I just want to make sure that we're on the plane that was already machined on this. We're getting there. Just going to take a little bit of this to get it squared up. I have to go to the back side. I might be on the stud there. I believe I got it set where it needs to be. So this is the low side out here. It drops off about 2 thousandths right about here on down. So you've got a little bit of a fluctuation in there, but from here to here, it's about the same. Reading just 62 on the dial, and once it gets past halfway, right about there, it starts dropping off. So we're gonna leave her set right where it's at. I've got the fixture bolted back down tight, and we'll make our little skim cut across there now to make sure it's good and straight. This is the tool bit that I'm going to use to cut the aluminum. This has got a chipped and burnt up corner, so we're going to touch this up and then hone it. Getting a nice little radius on there, and then we'll actually hone it with our honing stick. touch the top. Just to clean up that edge, that corner. Still a little bit there. All right, looks good. We'll go hone it now. These are my diamond hones that I like using. I've actually got a whole set of them right here, all the way from extra coarse to extra fine, made by Easy Lap. And I really love having these and using them. I mainly just use them for the tool bits. I also sharpen my pocket knife with them there. So I buy these from KBC Tools. So I'll go with the fine and just lay it flat against that radius and just work your way around it. Just support it with your finger to kind of keep it square against the grind. And just work it and hone the grinding marks out of it. And that's looking real nice. That looks good right there. So I'll go ahead and go over to the super fine now and just kind of polish it up a little bit more. That looks good. And you can also take and do the top there as well. So you're really only going to be touching on the two sides because the wheel, you know, has got a radius to it. So just lay it flat. And all you want to do is just clean up. You're only, you know, we're only taking 5/10 thousandths max. So there's just very little area that this tool is going to be cutting. So as long as it's just, you do a little hone and then you can see a little shiny spot there on the edge, that's all you need. Keep it flat, and that looks good right there. So we'll go set this up and get ready to start making our cuts. See if we can get our touch off here. Okay, touching all the way down to right here, and then it drops off just like the indicator showing. Got a nice even line all the way down. This I found works the best on cutting aluminum. There's other stuff that works good too, such as WD-40. It's what everybody always says. I've tried WD-40, I've used it for years, and it works fine. But I actually think that this Tap Magic for aluminum works even better. So I got it and I'm going to use it. So just needs a little coating like that and it should be good to go. I'll put a little on the tool. Alright. We touched off and I dialed in another 4 thousandths. Let's see, it looks like it may clean it up. Looks like this first cut is not quite going to finish up that corner there. Part of our problem. He said that it was leaking. It was leaking around the head in a couple spots there. So that was our first cut, and I can see right in here you got some low areas. It's even low right here at the top. All the rest of it's cleaned up, so really I'll probably take another 2 graduations on the dial. Our dial here is every line is 2000s, so we'll probably just go another 4 and see if that'll clean up. I do like the finish that it's given there as well. I'm aware that these type of automotive finishes, they have to have a certain finish there to help with the gasket sealing. So I like the way that this tool cuts. I'm using a 20,000 step over, and it leaves the tool lines in there that I think will work good for, you know, a gasket. So we'll go ahead and get set up and start making our second cut. Well, at the completion of our second cut, I think we've got it where we want it. It looks great. It definitely cleaned it up. So we're gonna call that side done. I'll get these chips cleaned off there. And then we'll start the process of rotating this the other way.